I think that you really don't move on as a company and as an individual if you don't have challenges like this. You know, these things are sent to testers, and I actually quite enjoy that. Everything that we do is basically set up in physically correct principles, right? So it's all basically driven to look as realistic as it can. Where it goes from that point, whether it gets created slightly different or inherits a slightly stylized look, is all to do with the DOP and the director and the client-side soup. So our main aim, our main goal, the kind of datum that we stick to is physically correct. Okay, so photorealism is key for us to do everything at that base. So, from the very onset, taking all the pictures, scanning, lighting, environment capture, all the way through to how shaders work, the building, geometry, everything, animation, all of it is all done basically off the fundamental realism, essentially. And then from there, you can take it wherever you like. I'm a firm believer in shooting plates, as is Peter Chang, so I would shoot plates anyway. Because usually at the time you shoot plates, you don't really know whether they're actually going to be used or not. You hope they are, of course, but it could be that the action changes or characters change within there, the amount of destruction required means that the plate is pretty much completely augmented 100%, therefore you're then full CG. So we knew from the very off that Tokyo, the third act, was going to be a lot of destruction. And when every bit of feedback that we got from the director was more destruction, raise it to the ground, essentially. So we developed a city system that essentially allowed us to do that. So we weren't scared by the fact of destroying a lot of city. As a general rule, I like anything that's a real camera shot from below on these ones, so low angle. It made the Jaegers look huge, the monsters look huge, the kaiju look great. The Siberia sequence I thought was great. I also liked the Sydney stuff because that did retain a lot of the plate, which I quite enjoyed. But then equally, I like the Tokyo stuff because of the sheer energy of it and the destruction. I actually, after hearing the director say many occasions, just blow it up, blow it up, blow it up, squash it, after a while you just think, you know what, great, let's do it, let's go to town. And that's actually really exciting. I have a look at all the characters. I speak to the director, the production designer, everyone essentially. So you get a good idea about what the actual general theme and what the feel that they want to go for. You have to bear in mind, of course, the narrative. You have to be sure that the story is told. And working very closely with my supervisors and the client-side supervisor, we then literally go through it bit by bit. At the start of the show, you also highlight what you think might be, difficult creative contenders, and one being the Mega Kaiju transformation in this show, for example. That was a very difficult thing to actually figure out. But we knew that we had to do it because it's something that wasn't entertained so much in previs, but we knew that from a technical point of view, we had to do it here, of course. Again, it's being sure that you respect and you surround yourself with a lot of good people who enjoy it, because essentially if you don't, then I think that shows in the product. I really do. So if people really want to come into it, they really want to get their idea across and they want to pitch in, I think that's what makes it exciting for me. The show was, the success it was, based off the fact that we had these challenges. You embrace it and you run with it, and that's what we did. And I think it shows that we actually really rather enjoyed it. I think everyone pulled together and did a phenomenal job. There's always stuff which is, at the time, we don't have a certain tool, we have to write this, or there is something that's not quite right. But you just overcome it, and that's what's quite good about it for me. It'd be boring otherwise.